African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Dolgenkoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of June 18, 2025. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group advanced deep into the enemy's defenses and liberated the settlement of Novonikolaevka in Sumy Oblast. Concentrations of manpower and equipment of 3 mechanized, motorized infantry, Ranger, 3 airborne assault brigades, an airborne assault and 2 assault regiments of the Ukrainian armed forces, as well as the Center of Special Operations Forces of the main intelligence directorate in the areas of Novaya Sich, Andriivka, Alexeyevka, Konotop, Leninsk, Verakino, Magritsa, Sadki, Rizevka, Besilovka, and Kondratovka in Sumy were defeated. In the Kharkiv direction, units of the mechanized and motorized infantry brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine and 5 territorial defense brigades were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Volchansk, Komisarovo, Udy, and Gadish in the Kharkiv region. That the Ukrainian armed forces lost over 165 servicemen, 3 combat armored vehicles, 3 cars, 6 field artillery pieces, 2 ammunition depots, and a warehouse of equipment. As a result of decisive actions by units of the West Military Group, the village of Dolgenkoye in the Kharkiv region was liberated. Formations of 2 mechanized brigades, a regiment of unmanned aerial vehicles of the armed forces of Ukraine, and 2 territorial defense brigades were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Bogoslavka, Shikhavka, Peskanoy, Novosergivka, Kupiansk, Kovsharovka in the Kharkiv region, and Kirovsk in the Donetsk People's Republic. That the enemy lost more than 220 servicemen, a Cossack armored vehicle, 8 vehicles, 2 artillery pieces, 2 electronic warfare stations, a US-made and /TPQ-50 counter-battery radar station, and 4 ammunition depots. Units of the Southern Group of Forces improved their tactical position. They defeated the manpower and equipment of 8 mechanized, mountain assault, airmobile brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Seversk, Svanovka, Serebryanka, Pozino, Ivanopoli, Vyemka, Minkovka, Fedorovka, Dalivka, Alexandro-Kalinovo, Kleban Byk, and Konstantinovka of the Donetsk People's Republic. That the Ukrainian armed forces lost up to 175 servicemen, 3 field artillery guns, and 4 pickups. A warehouse of material was destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces occupied more advantageous lines and positions. They defeated the formations of 4 mechanized, airborne assault, Ranger, assault brigades, a brigade of unmanned systems of the armed forces of Ukraine, 2 brigades of Marines, and a National Guard brigade in the areas of the settlements of Petrovskoye, Dmitrov, Novonikolaevka, Grodovka, Krasnoarmysk, and Novotoretskoye of the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy's losses amounted to 490 servicemen, 2 infantry fighting vehicles, 4 US-made M113 armored personnel carriers, 7 armored combat vehicles, 4 cars, and 2 field artillery pieces, including a 155mm Bogdana self-propelled artillery unit. Units of the East Group of Forces continue to advance into the depths of the enemy's defense, inflicting losses on the manpower and equipment of 4 mechanized brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces and 3 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Veseloy in the Donetsk People's Republic, Guliapol, Poltavka, and Temirovka in the Zaporizhia region. That the Ukrainian armed forces lost up to 185 servicemen, an armored combat vehicle, 6 vehicles, 3 artillery pieces, including a British-made 155mm FH-70 howitzer and an electronic warfare station. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces defeated formations of 2 mechanized, mountain assault brigades, 2 coastal defense brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces, and 4 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Kamenskoye, Molotokmachka, Novoandriivka in the Zaporizhia region, Otradokomenka, Belozerka, and Antonovka in the Kherson region down up to 80 enemy servicemen, 15 vehicles, a field artillery gun, an electronic warfare station, and 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile forces, and artillery of the Russian armed forces groups have damaged workshops for the production and assembly of strike unmanned aerial vehicles, their storage sites, ammunition depots, as well as temporary deployment points for Ukrainian armed forces units and foreign mercenaries in 147 districts. Air defense systems shot down 4 JDAM-guided aerial bombs and 7 U.S.-made HIMARS multiple launch rockets, as well as 236 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 663 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 64,206 unmanned aerial vehicles, 611 anti-aircraft missile systems, 23,953 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,572 combat vehicles of multiple launch rocket systems, 26,331 field artillery and mortar guns, 36,996 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.